Welcome to our second video all about our foundation stage unit. Our unit is called Little Stars and will contain nursery and reception children. On this video we will have a look at some of the areas that we have been setting up and look at what you can do when you are here with us. When you come into the classroom, you will find this area in the corner where you'll be able to hang your coats and bags before you start your day. We obviously need to still put up our coat pegs, but there will be information on all of this board space for you and your child to just find out a little bit more about their time in Little Stars. There'll also be a self-registration area where the children can find their name and hang it onto the little tree so that we know they're here, and it also helps them to start to develop a wider understanding of their name, what it looks like, and that it carries meaning. When the children come into school, they can choose to press one of our rainbow buttons to signify how they would like to be greeted. They might want to touch the star shape, and that says that they'd just like a smile from the adult that greets them. Or they might want to touch the green boogie button so that the teacher and the adults do a little boogie with your child. It's a really fun way to start the day and just to give a greeting to them so that they know that we're here for them. Throughout the term, our learning journey board will build and grow as the children's learning grows and develops. We'll be able to add photos, pieces of work, bits of children's writing that they might try, home learning and learning in school. And we really hope that you enjoy looking through your child's learning journey book, but also celebrating with the whole group as you can see their learning journey board. It's really important for your child to celebrate their birthday, as it's one of their most important events that happen for them during the year. We make sure that we celebrate when they change from 2 to 3, 3 to 4, and also now from 4 into 5. And we also try to help them learn the order of the months of the year. In Little Stars and across the whole of the school, we think it's really important to help children develop independence and self-help skills. One of the ways that we do this in Little Stars is by having a cafe area where children can come and sit with their friends to enjoy a snack mid-morning. They can then put their name into the pot to show that they've had their snack, and they can also then place their dirty cup and bowl or dirty cup and plate into the washing up area and help the adults to put away their snack items. We hope that they'll really enjoy this as a social time, but also that we can learn a lot of skills about cutting, preparing fruit, about eating healthy snacks, about enjoying a range of different textures and tastes. Computing and ICT is a really key skill to be developing in the world that we live in now. So we've set up an ICT area for children to come and explore these skills, such as pressing the talking tins and recording their voice, or exploring what happens when they press the buttons on the light box and see what the effect is on the materials. We also have laptops and tablets that the children will be able to use, and we will also place these devices into different areas so that children can explore their maths or their phonics understanding by using ICT as a tool to help them. This area of the classroom concentrates on building and on exploring natural materials. Children will be able to self-select some building equipment and materials that they recognise from home, such as Duplo and stickle bricks, and they'll be able to make models which they can celebrate. We also have a junk modelling area where children can come and choose which junk models they would like to make using some of the resources we might have. So at the moment we have a good selection of tubes that they might choose to use to make a model. We also have a lot of natural resources that children can explore textures and find out about the patterns they can make and explore all the different options that are available to them. We really place a lot of emphasis on children self-selecting, on being able to make choices about what they like best, what feels good, what smells good, and maybe touching something that they haven't had a chance to explore before. We've also got an area where children can develop some of their fine motor skills by putting curtain hooks and curtain rings onto the poles. They can also use the pegs to try and develop their skills of attaching and combining objects. We like setting up challenge areas. So one of these challenge areas is to look at your face and to try and make a self-portrait with a range of different items. And obviously the children will take items from around the classroom to build and create their pictures. Finally, we've got a lot of natural resources in this area that children can explore, can build, can make patterns, can transport from one area to another, and can really start to learn about how beautiful our natural resources are and feel all the different textures, how smooth, how rough. They can really develop their language skills in this area. We're really lucky to have a spacious outdoor area adjoining our classroom, which children can free flow from the class into the outdoor space during the time that they're with us. There are lots of ride-ons that children can use and scooters and balance bikes. We also have planting beds that they can plant and grow items in. We have a sand pit, water area, and lots of other spaces for them to explore their learning and development. We know that for lots of children, mark making and writing can be quite a hard skill to develop, and for many it can be one that they shy away from. However, the outdoor area is often a place where children feel more comfortable. So therefore we've set up a little mark making station where children can come and write, get some pens and paper, explore with some chalks, and they can have a go at mark making and learning those early writing skills whilst playing outdoors and exploring in an environment they feel comfortable in. In this area of the room, we have developed a creative area, which also has a messy zone for children to explore different textures and feels and have that sensory aspect of their learning. So at the moment, we have paint and glitter in here for children to combine and feel the difference between the different resources that are in there. We also have a station where children can come and choose from a range of different resources such as paint, pencils, glue pots. They can select palettes, they can select sponges, and then they can begin to explore how these colours and different resources react when they put them together and combine them, and also make some really lovely items that they can be proud of. They can then come over here, we can add their pictures onto our board, and they can also continue their drawing and making of models and art by either drawing a picture with felt pens, they can use the scissors, glue, and they can use a range of other resources to make their own picture in a picture frame. We've also painted one of our boards to make it into a chalkboard, one of our doors to make it into a chalkboard, and the children can mark make and draw over here. They can use obviously the chalks to draw us a picture and maybe even begin to try and leave us a little message. And they also have another range of items here for them to be able to choose from, and above on our trellis we can then hang some of their pictures so that they can feel really proud of their achievements. This area of the classroom is our Funky Fingers area. So here children are able to develop their fine motor skills and their control, which are early skills essential for developing their handwriting and also their dexterity as they move into later life. So here we have an activity where children can come in and try and sort the little mini rubbers into either colours or patterns, or maybe they could just spend their time trying to transport them from one of the pots into the other. We also have a threading area where children can thread the pipe cleaners through the holes and combine them into make different patterns, or try and weave them together or plait them. Again, children can have some of their work hanging on the trellis, or we might put words and challenges on there for them to be inspired by. We really love celebrating children's creative talents and skills, and we know that lots of our children like to act, to dance, to perform, and like to make music and play with the instruments. So we've set up a little stage area behind the curtains with puppets, dressing up clothes, story sacks, and we also have some music so children can reveal themselves from behind the curtains, put on a little show for their friends to watch, and they can then grow in confidence, self-esteem, and develop their speaking and listening skills at the same time as having a lot of fun. In our school, we place a lot of emphasis on children being able to develop their curiosity and their independent thought processes. One of the ways we do this is by having a curiosity cube in each classroom. A range of items can be placed in these curiosity cubes. You may have something to do with the topic that's being covered, maybe a seasonal item or something that a child's brought in from home. In this instance, we have a crystal that we found in one of our cupboards, and we know that the children will enjoy looking at the different shapes and patterns on them. And the children can explore these items by thinking about what they look like, smell like, taste like, what they might hear if they were to touch it. And these will change as often as we feel that the children need a new idea and can be stimulated by the child's own interests. It's also a great way of developing speaking, listening and vocabulary as the children can explore what they think is in the box. At Jacobstow, we really want to develop a thirst for knowledge and learning, and also to develop the idea of reading for pleasure. So we've created a little nook where children can sit with a friend or on their own or with an adult, and they can explore one of the books that we will have in our area. This one is the Owl Babies, and there are a range of different items which relate to that book, and then the children can have fun opening it up and finding the story in there, which we might read as a whole class, which they might try and read themselves, or maybe which they would read with a friend and an adult. So this is a really comfy little area that we hope the children will enjoy exploring. It's really important for children to learn how to write their name and how to mark make, and one of the ways that we do this is by encouraging them to make free choices about writing. We put a range of different resources and materials there for children to explore and to support them in their learning. So we have chalkboards and slates, we have letters, we have little challenges for them to do, and then they can also make choices from a range of different materials such as envelopes, little bags, tracing paper and different scissors that will make different effects as they cut. The children can then share their writing either with the staff, and put it in their learning journey, or they can take home messages for their parents. We also have our little phonics station, an area here, and a workstation that children can then learn to make some words. They can learn to write. They can also just explore the area of English. And over to here, we have some keyword wands that the children will be able to use to help them to learn how to spell and how to read. They'll also link in with the phonics work that we do. And then we have the letters that we are focusing on up on the window for the children to see. Again, there's another area here that the children might want to come to write some letters, or maybe to build a word using the really nice and tactile stones that we have here. There's also a little station with a range of different resources, all to develop their phonics and their spelling, that the children might want to come and explore. And they can again move them around into different spaces. One of the other activities we've got is that children can trace over the letters using these sandpaper letters to try and get the idea about how to form their letters for the words they want to write. The children in Little Stars seem to really enjoy exploring our small world areas, and it helps them to bring their imagination to life and to reenact things that they've seen happening every day and around them. So we've created another little nook here where the children can explore our house at the moment, as that's what we're going to be doing when we first come back, is thinking about our homes and our families. And they can change the house around using a range of different furniture. And then they can explore some of these other items that we have in the baskets, that they can build their own houses, they can build their own families, and they can also talk to their friends and to staff about their life at home. We have a maths area where children learn to sequence numbers, count and order, and recognise how the digits link with the totals of the items that they're counting. We look at using resources such as Numicon and recognising that the red shape has 5 holes, which matches with the red 5 on here and the number of items that are there. The children are encouraged to select resources that they think will help them with their counting and their maths, and they might make good choices, they might make choices which perhaps aren't going to help them with that task. But we try and expose them to a range of different resources, different shapes, different sizes, different feels, so that children's interests are always inspired and they're motivated to want to learn. We have little challenge areas for them to explore, and they're also able to play games such as hopscotch and snakes and ladders, so they're building on those familiar experiences from home. We'll start our year with a focus on the idea of families, ourselves and our homes. So we've set up a role play corner and a home corner here where children can use familiar experiences of being in the kitchen, of washing up, of learning about safety. They can also have a go at having a tea party, and they can have the babies out and the cots so that they learn to develop that empathy and care of others. At Jacobstow School, we really value reading and how important it is as a lifelong skill. So each classroom has a reading area dedicated to the enjoyment of reading and to sharing books with each other and just sitting and enjoying reading a book on our own. So we have in Little Stars a reading den that we can adapt and change as we go. At the moment it's like a reading garden, and we have the 3 bears sat waiting to greet us. We also have a range of books that the children can enjoy. They can either sit and read them with a friend, or they can have a look through them on their own. But similarly, because of the size of our reading den that we've gone for, we're able to sit under there as an adult and enjoy it with the whole class, so that everyone can enjoy in that storytelling and listening to books experience.